every day is another chance to do it all over again.
Get the best of starts on the break of dawn. 32 FM 94.9.
My head's so far away.
Mornings are for dreamers.
I'm a dreamer, yes, I'm a dreamer. Oh.
The break of dawn for champions.
Champion, 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 champion.
On 32 FM 94.9.
Wonderful morning to you out there. It's really great to have you join us on the Break It Down Papers Review this wonderful Saturday morning. And of course, we'll be looking at some of the national dailies here in Nigeria. We have a host of them. I have the Punch newspaper, Nigerian Tribune newspaper, The Nation, and other papers here. Also, the Daily Post, yes, and The Nation newspaper, all here up for review this morning. We'll start off very quickly with the Punch newspaper. It's great to have you. And of course, this is your Laughter Dive, 32 FM 94.9. My name is GBOLABO, famous school. We'll start off with the Punch newspaper. And here on the front page of the Punch newspaper, Natasha's suspension, federal government plans intervention as coalition threatens showdown. Tinubu rejects 942 billion naira census budget, proposes use of coppers. 3 arrested for last year graduate murder after Punch report. How older female relatives prey on young boys for sexual pleasure. More headlines here out of the Punch newspaper. How Lagos police killed my 14-year-old son, made his body disappear from morgue. Account from the father here. PDP DSBK sets up South-South Zonal Caretaker Committee. Tinubu appoints Jega as SC livestock reforms. More headlines here out of the Punch newspaper. To the Metro Plus page, police probe electrocution of Ogun apprentice. 7 killed in fresh Niger tanker explosion. Farms razed. Police detain 8 over that of site engineer. And here we also have resident rejoice as security agents kill Lakurawa kingpin. Alright, more here still on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Forex reserves dropped by $1.3 billion in February. That's according to a Central Bank of Nigeria report. SEC warns public against investing in pro-vest orders. Federal government signs MOU with Flutterwave on youth empowerment. All of that is some of the headlines here out of the Punch newspaper. All right, we'll move over to another paper. Let's look at the Nation newspaper this morning. There are also a number of headlines here on the Nation. And here we have this one. It appears to be the big story here on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Rivers crisis tension as Fubara's commissioners, election agencies sue lawmakers. Controversy rages over Natasha's 6-month suspension. And this one says, breaking, Tinubu appoints Jega as special advisor on livestock reforms. And more says, alleged 80.2 billion naira fraud. EFCC tenders receipts of school fees paid in advance for Yahaya Bello's children. Police arrest 3 over electrocution of 23-year-old apprentice. Anxiety as ex-NYSC Director General spends 30 days in bandits' captivity. Man slumps in Abuja mosques during prayers, dies in hospital. 2 fighting teachers sanctioned in Delta. And still here on the front page of the Nation newspaper, it's a bit of lifestyle. Ronke Oshodi. Alright, Nollywood will frustrate you. Okay, and we also have other headlines here from the political side of the paper, the Nation newspaper here. Ayuri Emami hails Omo Agege's commitment to APC. Communicate decisions before implementation of any policy. That's according to APC chieftain cautioning governors. Why Southeast will vote Tinubu in 2027 by Okelekwe. And we also have this one. Intervene now to avert danger in Benue judicial crisis. Groups tell Tinubu Ganduje. All of that are some of the headlines here out of the Nation newspaper. Let's take a look at the cable We also have a number of headlines here on the cable NG, and this is some of the headlines out of the cable this morning. At GBOLABO, attack on IKEDC will affect efforts to achieve uninterrupted power supply. Tinubu appoints Jega as presidential advisor on livestock reforms. PDP chieftain Jando ignored party leaders' advice, picked a comedian as running mate. Ganduje, nobody wants to contest Anambra, give a poll on the PDP. It's a crumbling party. And we have this one. NMDPRA issues licenses to 3 oil companies to construct refineries. Nigeria recorded 3.4 trillion naira trade surplus in Q4 2024, says NBS. And this says blackout as discos experience system disturbance. NNPC, NIPCO signed deal to supply 80 MMSCF of gas daily to Sodic Petroleum. PDP demands Natasha Akpoti's reinstatement, accuses Akpabio of cover-up. And more extra news, Natasha Akpoti kissing her husband, the National Assembly morally wrong, says Senate spokesperson. All right, CBN asks court to decline EFCC's 2.7 billion naira collateral property forfeiture request. And still here on the cable, we do have more headlines here on the cable, and this speaks on the power supply taken earlier. Nigeria recorded 3.4 trillion naira trade surplus in Q4 2024, says NBS. Ex-trade negotiator says Tigbe's appointment to strengthen Nigeria-China cooperation. Wale Edun-Boa delegation meets on Nigeria's economic outlook, investment climate. Ex-Bayelsa military administrator directors reach out of court settlement and shares the speech. All of that are some of the headlines here out of the cable this morning. Let's take a look at the Vanguard. The Vanguard too has a number of headlines here this morning. Looking at the front page of the Vanguard this morning, we also have some headlines, and this says 2027 not divided as Tinubu woes south, east, south, south. And more headlines here on the Vanguard. Rivers crisis, why Fubara may survive impeachment. Natasha versus Akpabio, how National Assembly became theater of shame. And more here says Rivers crisis, why Fubara may survive impeachment. Nollywood damsels who take pride in flaunting their curves. International Women's Day, cervical cancer survivors share experience. And more headlines here says Air Force personnel attack on Ikeja, electricity disco, 15 wounded. And 2027 Ganduje Barao received 2023 Atiku support groups in 19 northern states. And we still have more headlines here on the Vanguard. Alaafin of Oyo, Owade, begins 21-day traditional rites. Tinubu appoints ex-INEC chairman Jega as special advisor on livestock reforms. All of that are on the Vanguard this morning. Let's take a look at the Daily Post. We used to have some headlines here out of the Daily Post this morning, and this is written as breaking. Tinubu gives ex-INEC chairman Jega new appointment. Anambra nurses protest poor pay package, working condition, alleged maltreatment. Lakurawa terrorist 𝐒𝐿 eliminated in Kebbi. A more headline here says communicate decisions before implementation of any policy. APC chieftain cautions state governors. Ogun Assembly support move to amend abortion to protect rape victims. Ex-presidential aide Obono Obla flaunts faults Senate 6-month suspension of Natasha. More headlines here says the ultimate solution to picture perfect shots in coming soon, and that appears to be a bit of a lifestyle there. All right, taking more headlines here still on the Daily Post this morning. We have Austin Ojuma already standing by. Before we bring Austin on board, a few headlines more. We have this one saying Doyin Okukwe is dead, and sexual harassment allegations take the detector test. Reno Omokri urges Natasha Akpoti Oduaha. All of that are some of the headlines captured in the Daily Post this morning. Let's also look at the Daily Trust and pick some headlines there out of the Daily Trust this morning. We do have a host of headlines too here on the Daily Trust this morning. All right, here on the Daily Trust, if this will pick very quickly, we have some headlines there and reeling them out. Of course, still waiting on. And do remember that you're still on to your Life to Die. 32FM 94.9. And of course, we're looking at some of the headlines out of the papers this morning. Okay, let's look at the Daily Trust newspaper. It says how Nigerian women are breaking gender stereotypes. More headlines still talking about Tinubu offers fresh appointments to Jega. Damagom led NWC rejects Wike-backed zonal congress, sets up South-South caretaker committee, and inside federal government's 2024-2027 roadmap for Nigerian women. Amra's mission to empower women in IT leadership in Niger State. Gombe women dominates vegetable market. Rimi Gando women cap makers redefining entrepreneurship. And of course, we have Rita Rimi's journey as professional driver. All of that appears to be some of the headlines out of the Daily Trust. More here says PDP condemns Natasha's suspension, says Akpabio must be probed. Women Affairs Minister moves to reunite Natasha Akpabio. And we have this one, Remi Tunumbu. Nigeria on track will get better. Man slums inside Abuja mosque, dies in hospital. All of that are some of the headlines here out of the Daily Trust this morning. All right, we do have Austin Odumo standing by to do the analysis proper with us this morning. All right, Austin, it's great to have you here.
GBOLABO, good morning and thank you for having me.
Fantastic. All right, Austin, let's quickly hit on this. Talking about Jega's appointment, it appears virtually all the dailies captured that particular headline this morning. And one would think that this is just about recycling individuals. One would have thought that Jega, for instance, would have been brought back when there are millions and uncountable Nigerians that could have filled up that position itself. Why do we have this kind of system where we have people being recycled for offices? Is it a good thing, especially for our democracy?
Of course, it's a good thing. And when you talk about recycling, there is the aspect that is bad. If someone has proven to be dependable and has discharged his or her national assignments meritoriously well, I think is deserving of what you just described as recycling now. We can condemn this idea of recycling old people if individuals who have not been able to deliver in their responsibility in the past are being brought on board in such a manner that they won't add value. And when you talk about recycling, don't forget, Jega has never been a politician. He was just like a university teacher. He rose to become a professor. He became a vice chancellor. He got the appointment as ANEC chairman. So he has not had any major political office in Nigeria. And if there is somebody or anyone that has done well, I think the person is deserving of coming back. So if we talk about recycling, we cannot overrule the place of experience. My view this morning, if you feed the pulse of Nigeria, that would be like a popular opinion, for example. Because someone like Jega should definitely be brought back for a major national assignment. Some people will even tell you that, oh, it is not even in the capacity of the special advisor on livestock reform and coordinator of committee implementation. That appointment for Jega should have been much more than that. But the truth of the matter is that for us to deepen our democracy, for us to deepen good governance, for us to rebound our economy, there are individuals who are proving themselves in the past that we need to bring on board.
All right, Austin, do
and
we know
whatever appointment that Jega is given, in my view, is commendable and it's a welcome development.
All right, Austin,
is someone that can deliver anytime, any
sorry,
day.
Austin, can I butt in here a little bit? What if there are millions and thousands of Jega within the four walls of the university system that have done a lot of researches on livestock and they have thesis and they've not been discovered? Why have somebody who's served within an electoral system but still have elections still muddled up with so much corruption? We've not gotten out of what appears to be the big quagmire here. Why do we have people who are there, who have the intelligence, but they are not being discovered? Are we saying that there are not 1,001 individuals who have done thorough jobs in terms of researching livestock that could have sat on that position appropriately beyond the Jega?
Yeah, there are 1,000,001 persons that could do better than what you think an individual is doing. Even what you and I are doing this morning, there are 1,000,001 persons who can even do it better than we think we are doing it today. But the truth of the matter is that if you are proven to have excelled in your choosing field of endeavor, you can be given a bigger appointment on a national scale to bring your wealth of experience to bear. What I think the emphasis should be on the issue of Jega is that the government should identify people who have excelled in their primary assignment in the past. On this platform, we used to mention name of people, prominent people in different fields of endeavor that can help to add value in terms of governance, in terms of quality of our economy, in terms of quality of our policy initiative. So there are individuals like that who have excelled. Those that have not been discovered, of course, we should all go ahead to discover the better talent. Let's get to a level where we will have to identify the best of us to work for the rest of us. I think that is the emphasis. That should be like what we should advocate for. Because those that are in the schools, who are somewhere in remote areas, who even are more qualified than Jega, they have not been tested and tried. I remember when Jega appeared before the National Assembly at the time of his appointment, certain questions were asked that how do you intend to be faithful with money, because you will have to manage the budget of INEC and what have you.
But
Jega then said,
I'm sorry, Austin, can I just say something before this clears off my head itself? But then, is there no difference between an appointment and a career? Like if you're on a career path and you've chosen to do that career and you've excelled, is it not different from being appointed to sit on a position? That's just what I wanted you to clear, because you're talking about individuals could actually do certain things, but are there not differences here?
Yeah, there are differences. Jega was not an INEC staff before his appointment. Don't forget, then and even now, office of the INEC chairman is a political appointment. Jega was not an INEC staff. He was picked from outside to head INEC. And for his stewardship in INEC, if we are not going to be too generous, a lot of Nigerians will give Jega pass mark as far as the innovation he brought to our election. On the floor of the Senate at Jega's clearance, he said he has presided over 100 million budget before of his school. So he has also seen money one way or the other as a professor and as a former vice chancellor. So all what we want for this appointment is for Jega to further prove himself and help us solve the livestock problem that we have in Nigeria, vis-a-vis reduction in elder farmers classes across the country. Of course, it has gone down relatively. We need a further drastic reduction, and we need value for money in terms of our livestock production and value chain. That is what we want. The federal government just created the Ministry of Livestock to address a lot of key fundamentals. And if we bring somebody like Jega on board to be the policy implementation committee coordinator and a special advisor to the president for that matter, I am confident that Jega has the capacity to deliver.
All right, Austin, moving on to other issues now. We have Natasha's suspension. This is caption here on Punch newspaper front page. Federal government plans intervention as coalition threatens showdown. Now, this appears not to be making any sense again, because I'm wondering, where is the national impact in all of this? Showdown for what? People are hungry. People actually cannot even get their daily commensurate earnings like it used to be. And now this is what we have all focused our attention on. You know, the most alarming thing, if you look at some of the headlines out of this particular back and forth within the National Assembly itself. It's talking about an Akpabio. Some people said that was a gaffe, saying that Kogi State had an airport or has an airport. I don't know how that obtains. But all of this put together, is it something that we should allow to drag this long? What has happened? There have been accusations and counter-accusations. That hasn't been cleared. Do we make this a national discourse? For how long does it subsist for us as a nation? Because it appears that many people are already distracted here.
As far as I'm concerned, we are dwelling on the matter for too long. A lot of senators have been suspended in the past. And like I said yesterday, the court will always nullify the suspension of lawmakers. But that has never in any way stopped lawmakers from being suspended. In short, if you talk about certain allowance that you receive as a lawmaker, you could risk suspension because it's just like a safe haven. Our ILO chambers are like safe haven, especially the Senate. So this matter is very simple. Natasha was accused of violating certain rules of the Senate, and Natasha came up with allegations against Godswill Akpabio, allegations that are not been proven yet. They have been family friend and what have you. Now the Senate have decided to suspend her against a court order. Fine, Natasha's case is already in court. Let her go to the court. I am sure the court will slam the National Assembly. Don't also forget the Senate Committee on Chairman on Ethics and Privileges Committee is Neda Imasuen from Edo State, LP Senator. So I don't know whether you are connecting all of this. So the Senate has taken action. This is not the first time that people will be violating court order. Unfortunately so. Recently, 2 governors violated court order, even not court order, court judgments, not to go ahead with election. And they went ahead. And the cases have been nullified in the court. We have seen a situation where people want to be impeached and they will run to court, like the case of former deputy governor of Edo State, Shaibu. He went to court. They still went ahead and impeached him. When the case got to the court said you cannot impeach him. But the truth of the matter is that he was actually impeached. And so on and so forth. I remember when Udume wanted to be suspended under Saraki, he also went to court. And that didn't stop his suspension. So it shouldn't be like a major issue for us as a nation. Allegation has been raised. Let us prove the allegation by evidence. The caption of the headline you read, the Minister of Women Affairs was reacting to the issue when she was asked in commemoration of International Women's Day. She said, oh, the federal government, the government will intervene because the National Assembly is also an extension of the federal government. So by that caption, it means that maybe the executive may have to engage the legislature. Maybe the Minister of Women Affairs, because Natasha is a woman, will have to look at that. That is why we are saying that some things are not right, but some things are also fundamental that you have little or nothing to do about it. So many lawmakers that have raised allegations that, oh, the allowances are too much, people are suffering, the money is too much. We have not even read in a bit all along. I can mention names of this lawmaker that eventually forfeited their salary. They will only come out to blow the whistle, and at the end of the day, they will still pocket the humongous amount of money. So it's just few Nigerians that are being tempted to believe that some people are messiah for this democracy and others are not. They are all best of the same feather. So let Natasha go to the court, establish her case. First of all, the case of defamation. Secondly, the case of rape. And thirdly, the case of defamation. Let her prove her case. And at the end of the day, this will not be the first time the judiciary, the court, will be slamming the National Assembly. This is not the first time the judiciary will be slamming state assembly. This is not the first time the judiciary will be slamming state governors. But we have the DNA of flagrant disregard for rule of law and for court order. That is the way we are wired, especially Nigerian politicians. So let them slug it out in the court. And at the end of the day, I believe that the court will adjudicate based on facts and evidence available to them. Because social media cannot take us anywhere as far as this matter is concerned. As I speak to you now, Natasha is no longer in the house. She is going on suspension. If care is not taken, those who have been suspended for 6 months before in the past ended up spending 14, 15 months at home. So that is it. Those that are clapping for them, for this dramatic personate, at the end of the day, it might now hold water. So some women group are saying that, oh, they will threaten showdown. Instead of threatening showdown, go to the court, mobilize support, hire the best senior advocate of Nigeria, support Natasha. I know some people will call this morning and say, oh, they can never get justice. The judiciary is in the pocket of somebody. Natasha reclaimed her mandate 6 months after inauguration by the Nigerian judiciary.
All right, Austin, can we now see that Natasha should represent or present again her petition on sexual harassment? Because I think that's the crux of the matter here. People want to know, it's Akpabio saying, should we say that Akpabio is clean in all of this? And that has been the major issue now. They've left what appears to be the issue of seat arrangement itself. It's now an issue of, oh, that is a bigger issue. Now, do we now say Natasha, who failed to follow the rules, need to go again and be allowed to present this particular one and have the Senate President being probed on this instance? Or would we say this is further distraction for us?
See, GBOLABO, if you look at it very well, on Wednesday, she presented a petition that was signed by herself. That was against the Senate rule. However sentimental, however emotional we look at it, there is the rule book for them. On Thursday, some people say, oh, no, on Thursday, Natasha represented the same bill, the same petition signed by her constituents. You saw it, it was laid before the Senate. Whether they will investigate it, whether they will take action on it, that is another kettle of fish. But a new version of the petition have been submitted and accepted by the Senate, signed by our constituents. That is what the Senate rule has said. What we expect is that if we are going to look at that, Akpabio should not be sitting. Because the way it works is that the committee will work on it. By the time committee is bringing their report in 4 weeks, Akpabio will not be the presiding officer for that report of the committee of investigation to be deliberated at plenary. That is the way it works. So it's an unfolding scenario. She has been suspended for flouting Senate rule. Now there is a petition. Some people are saying, oh, is Akpabio is sent, is he not guilty? You can't say somebody is guilty. You need to have some men who have suffered false accusation of sexual harassment in the past before. Some of them lost their marriages. Some of them lost their lives. Some of them lost their job. In the process, I am not saying that Natasha is telling lie. And I am not saying that Akpabio cannot commit some of these things. Some of these things does happen. The first time this news broke, I told you on this platform, I said, it is synonymous to our public service system in Nigeria. It does happen. It does happen. And don't also forget, similar allegations have been made by Natasha in the past that eventually it was not true. I also told you on that fateful day that a lot of even ministers of God, their ministries have been destroyed as a result of false sexual accusation, false sexual harassment accusation. Let's just pray that it does not happen to us. There are some that may not exist. But under these circumstances, we really have to look at it because Natasha is mentioning some names, mentioning some places, mentioning some instances. Let her prove beyond reasonable doubt. But some other people who have also witnessed Natasha in the past, making similar allegations and later turning it, pulling it down and paying huge amount of money in form of damages, may also want to think the other way that, oh, maybe this is just like a cover-up or just a cook-up or something. That the other time it was not real, it was a lie, does not mean that this one definitely must be a lie. We need to investigate, and Natasha needs to bring her evidence before the court of law. that I have this evidence, I have this evidence. It is not about noise. We are only making noise about it. A lot of I know senators that have been suspended more than once in the National Assembly. They are there. They are even more vocal senators. They are even more prominent senators. They are even more ranking senators than Senator Natasha. So it's unfortunate that we immerse ourselves in this needless and shameless controversy.
All right, Austin, let's look at the census itself. It appears to be another monster eating some of the national resources here, and that has been like in proposal for long. Tinubu rejects 942 billion naira census budget, proposes use of coppers. And now, if you look at 2024 budget itself, it's about 600 and something million naira for the conduct of the census. But what we are having in this appears to be an updated one. The 942 billion naira is what the Census Commission is saying, or the Population Commission is saying that they are going to use in conducting this. And for Tinubu, that is too expensive, and we need to cut costs. Now, what do we say, Austin, with this new figures being proposed by the commission, the Population Commission here?
Yeah, we need to cut costs at all costs, and the president must show costs to cut costs. And charity begins at home. The president should not make us believe that he's interested in cost cutting because of census. He should do some things that has to do with some members of his cabinet, even his own entourage, the way he spend money, the way we conduct the business of government. We are still very reckless and not financially prudent at all, even as a country. Having said that, the proposal in the budget was an estimate by the executive arm of government. Now the commission has gone to draw up their own budgets and say this is the amount that is required. But the truth of the matter is that if we need a valid census in Nigeria, whose outcome will be credible in terms of fidelity, we need to spend some money. That's the truth. The amount I do not know. So let them match cost for cost. Let the MPC, let them show cost. Even if we are going to use core member as adult staff, we are still going to pay them. We cannot mobilize core member without paying them. Some of these things are very expensive. Look at the budget of INEC, for example. INEC is saying that, oh, my budget is small for me because they need to do election in some places in the country. So in my view, it is good to cost. The amount is too homogous as far as I'm concerned, almost ₦1 trillion. So let us look at it. Let us do a critical cost analysis. What will it take? Item by item, expenditure for expenditure, line by line. What does it take to conduct census in Ibadan metropolis? Is it the same amount it takes to conduct census in Igboho or areas in 𝐒𝐈 or Jabi in the northern part of the country? So these are factors that you put into consideration. But for us to have a credible census that can actually give us our figure, not estimated figure, we have to spend some money. But I don't know how the Census Commission arrived at close to ₦1 trillion for that exercise. So the government, the president is saying that, oh no, that money is too much. We need to save costs. We are going to use core member. Let them also come up. If we are using core member, give us the estimate. How much will it cost? Let us just oppose. And don't forget, core members alone cannot do the work. They have to still rely on staffs of MPC vis-a-vis some other ad hoc officials that will be employed for that purpose. Some are on permanent employment. Even the officials of MPC, when they go out, they will collect allowance because they are leaving their comfort zone. They are going all through the nook and crannies of the country. I think what we should look at is the credibility of the process. How credible can we make the process? I hope at the end of the day, we are not going to be having estimated population, because as we speak this morning, you and I, we do not know our exact population. It has always been estimated. Some people said we were 180 million. Some people said we were 200. Some people are now saying that we are like 210 million. and the conduct of census is long overdue. So let the government see whatever they can do in the area of cost to make it true reflective of the economy. Don't forget the cost has to also be reflective.
Right.
It has to be reflective because things have gone beyond what it used to be in terms of prices, in terms of logistics, in terms of mobilization, in terms of movement from one place to the other. So all of this factor will go into it. But like I said before I conclude, the credibility of the process. How do we ensure that we get the best out of the process? Not modulated figures, not estimated figure in some places and in some parts of the country.
All right, Austin, we still have more headlines there before we go. Okay, that's a lot of time. Rivers crisis tension as Fubara's commissioners election agency sue lawmakers. Now, it appears Rivers is in the eye of the storm. Talking about the state itself. Fubara, you said yesterday that you do not see any kind of crisis in Rivers State, but from all indications and from what the people's headlines are saying here, Fubara is not having a soft landing as we speak. It appears that he's not having enough numbers, and we do hear that politics is a game of number here. And now he's saying that the authority of Martin Mawule-led River State House of Assembly wants the governor to reverse the appointment of 19 commissioners, that the commissioners whose appointment were cleared by 4 supporters of the governor in the assembly are asking the courts to restrain the lawmakers from declaring the appointment illegal. Now, this is a tough one for Fubara. It's a season of war. It's warring at the local, it's having a lot of warfare to deal with at the local government council. And now he also has his commissioners, in a way, saying that he cannot get them according to how he wants his commissioners to be in terms of formation. So what do we say Fubara is dealing with here?
GBOLABO, Fubara is not dealing with anything. I said it yesterday. I said I do not see any trouble. The judgment of the Supreme Court, there are a lot of conditions if factor in those judgments. A lot of us are not worried, including you and some of our callers. We were debating Natasha court injunction and Senate going ahead. Some of us are not worried that yesterday marked it exactly 1 week that the Supreme Court gave judgment in the case of Rivers. And the governor has not taken any practical step to obey those judgments from the Supreme Court. And we are belaboring ourselves, discussing court order, restraining order. I see the way they discuss it on some TV channel, and I begin to wonder. Well, it is simple. The judgment of the Supreme Court has clarified the fact that the activity of these 3 lawmakers all along have been rendered null and void. But the issue of appointment of commissioner is not part of what is on the table as far as the judgment is concerned. What the judgment is concerned is that local government election is nullified. Governor represent the budgets. By now, we should have been seeing effort being made to get that aspect done. If you get that aspect done and the budget is presented, by now there should be like a truce. You should be having a kind of truce. Everybody is just shouting there is war in River, there is war in River. Where is the war? Let the governor go ahead to implement it. After us, we have seen a situation before where a governor elect is doing rehearsal of mass parade for his swearing in tomorrow, and Supreme Court said you can no longer be governor, and heaven did not fall. So to avoid trouble, let government see the way things are now. I predicted it before now. Those who care to believe, let them believe. Those who will not believe, let them not believe. I said, let them look for a way to resolve this matter out of courts. That if it gets to the issue of courts, the winner most likely will take it all. That is what we are talking about. But it's currently happening now. One of my very good friends on this platform called yesterday and said, Chuba Okadibo threatened Obasanjo, and Obasanjo left him. Obasanjo removed 5 Igbo men as Senate president within 7 years. Chuba Okadibo was tear gassed twice as Senate president. One ambush was laid on his house on June 2nd, 2000. And what eventually led to his death, he went to Kano to campaign. The police, they threw tear gas at Chuba Okadibo. He was asthmatic. On the 26th, that was on 24th of September. And on 25th of September 2003, 𝐒𝐶 died. So what are you talking about? Some people will come. We have been in this game and in this business, for example. So we are appealing to the Rivers State governor. As far as this matter is concerned, is the Rivers State governor. He had no choice than to make peace at this particular point in time. Those that are drumming war for him, they will not be able to help him. We said it yesterday, and look at where we are today now. How come that some of these things that we talk about, they come out almost exactly the way we talk about it, and we are not learning about it?
What those things?
So let us make step. Let the governor make step. The issue of whether the commissioner, at the end of the day, some things will give and take, but it is not the issue of the commissioner first. But let us first of all advise the governor to make step. It is not good enough that after 1 week, do we now need soldier? Because the law says that the judgment of the Supreme Court are enforceable by the armed forces. That is the law. A lot of people do not know. Do we now need soldier to go and enforce the Supreme Court judgment?
What I was thinking, let's quickly touch on this before we go on our first break here. 𝐷𝐿, attack on IKEDC will affect efforts to achieve uninterrupted power supply. Some people in the public parlance will say they play. Because really, how do we connect this? What is the nexus to say an attack with what we saw from the Air Force? It's so unfortunate that under the leadership of 𝐷𝐿, there have been a lot of misnomer going on within the power sector. We're talking about the grid collapsing over and over subsequently. Then you also have this kind of attacks. And now he's talking about it will affect uninterrupted power supply. Is he saying that the dams will suddenly go dry, or possibly the mechanism that they need would not work for all over the country? This kind of statement, does he add up? Or to decisively say, for instance, that those people who has caused this kind of mayhem should be dealt with, in spite of the fact that these are people who are supposed to enforce the law, and they are the breakers of the law from what we heard and from what we've seen so far. The statement by 𝐷𝐿 itself, is this something that should come out from him, saying this will affect uninterrupted power supply? How do we connect this?
Yes. Some people will say before 𝐿𝐶, when there was no attack, was power that regular? No. But the truth of the matter is that what happened is condemnable. It is not just like some things are happening under 𝐷𝐿. We have a notorious attitude in Nigeria of not paying electricity bill. That is a major factor in the power sector. People don't want to pay for electricity bill. Once you are a barrack, no official can go there to disconnect your light. Under this administration, the light in Aso Rock was disconnected. It is not this administration that hold the money, but cumulatively over the years, they hold over 3.5 billion. We saw the drama in UCH. The question is that why are people not paying for their electricity bill? Why are they not wanting to pay? That's the major problem, because we have the issue of the minister, we have the issue of incompetence, we have the issue of weak infrastructure, we have the issue of meter bypass, we have the issue of energy theft, we have the issue of estimated billing, and this is another factor. Because your lights were disconnected, you have to invade their premises, to damage facility and injured staff. That is an aberration. By now, so many people should have been made to pay for that. What do you expect? What 𝐷𝐿 is saying is correct in this context. Because if it were to, when Ajaero went to Imo State to go and do politics and he was beaten up, what happened? Did Nigeria Labour Congress threaten nationwide strike? GBOLABO, answer me now. Didn't they threaten nationwide strike?
It's apparent.
So it is true. If staff of IKEDC were attacked, they have the right to down-tune. And when they down-tune, GBOLABO, what will happen? Would it interrupt electricity supply? It will interrupt electricity supply, because that action was barbaric. That action, by now, the first headquarters, the defense headquarters, should have taken action as far as that matter is concerned.
All right.
That is the way people do. You can't go to the police station to disconnect light. They will continue to pile up bill. When the bill is done, I will now begin to whip up sentiment. People are dying in UCH. People are carrying generator to UCH. Why didn't they pay their electricity? Do they render their service free of charge? And at the end of the day, we turn it to politics.
Well, I was thinking we have
so
to pay
as far
some
as I'm
bills.
concerned, I think I will agree with the minister on this particular statement.
All right, Austin, we have to pay some bills right about now. We'll be back shortly afterwards. Please do stay with us.
32 FM
94.9.
The holy month of Ramadan is upon us. As we embark on this journey, let's not forget to show love through sharing. This Ramadan, stay ahead with daily power from Suhoor to Iftar. Join us every Monday to Friday as we explore the spiritual and physical benefits of the month, plus exciting recipes. Catch us on our YouTube page, Kolandia Dairy Nigeria, and on Dadin Kowa, Faranwata, Sunna TV, Arewa TV, and African Magic Hausa TV stations. Ramadan Mubarak from Hollandia.
We are Cowrywise, a wealth manager for every Nigerian. We have one job, and that's to help you grow your money. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you're a small business owner, a university student, a government employee, or even if you work in an office. If you work hard for your money should also work hard for you. At Cowrywise, we manage your money so that it keeps growing every day. One small drop today, another tomorrow, and little by little your cup is overflowing. Whether you are saving to start a business, buy a car, or invest for the future, you can do so on Cowrywise. Whatever you can dream of, you can save and invest for it on Cowrywise. All you need is a smartphone to start saving and investing today. We are Cowrywise, the savings and investment app for you. Sign up on cowrywise.com to start saving and investing today. Cowrywise. Invest wisely. Grow wealth.
kò bá jẹ́ 24 29 tàbí 32 ṣáà ti fẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú wa lórí gbogbo ìkànnì ìbánidọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ kàn tẹ 32 FM 949 ẹ̀yẹ fẹ̀yìn ẹ̀.
Wọ́n máa fa sàlátù ránṣẹ́ o. Wọ́n máa fa sàlátù ránṣẹ́.
Maria Babi Kaya Ramadan! Alhamdulillah! Ramadan dé lọ́tún 32 FM Ramadan quiz gbọ̀nà tún yọ.
Ìrọ̀lẹ́ ni ti ọdún 2025 yìí o.
4:15 p.m. lójoojúmọ́ ní ìdíje yóò máa gbéra sọ. Ọmọ ọdún 8 sí 15 8 to 15 years ni ó láǹfààní àti kópa lórí rédíò 32 FM 94.9 live and direct Mondays to Friday. Yawmal Jumu'ah ńlá ṣekágbá ọ̀sọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀ bí ìṣe wa.
Monday àkọ́kọ́ nínú oṣù Ramadan 1446.
Ní ìdíje 32 FM Ramadan quiz yóò gbéra sọ. Onírúurú ẹ̀bùn ló ti kúnlẹ̀ fáwọn olùdíje kí àwọn ọmọ yín tọ́jú orí wọn wà lọ́dún 8 sí 15 kí wọ́n ṣàtìpè wọlé láti dáhùn béèrè bó ti tó àti bó ti yẹ lọ́rọ̀ bábù ṣe. 32 FM Ramadan quiz
2025.
Mashallah, ọmọ mi ò ní gbẹ̀yìn bẹ́ẹ̀.
Wọ́n máa fa sàlátù ránṣẹ́ o. Wọ́n máa fa sàlátù.
Tífà bá wọlé tọ́ ní fàáfàá jìfà. 32 FM, the happiness station, is ready to spread happiness again. Yes, ke? Time don reach for us to make our listeners smile again o. Are you ready? Ṣé ti dúró dédé? Àwùfù bẹ̀rẹ̀kẹ̀tẹ̀ don land like traffic light. If true data is life, na im be say recharge card go come you wait o. If your finger is fast and you are feeling lucky on Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays, then keep your dial locked on 32 FM 949 fẹ̀yìn. Nítorí òjò recharge card yóò máa rọ̀ ní gbogbo ọjọ́ Ìṣẹ́gun, Ọjọ́rú àti Ọjọ́bọ̀. Ìyẹn ni pé every Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday time go reach o. Àwùfù bẹ̀rẹ̀kẹ̀tẹ̀ go dey ṣẹlẹ̀ on top 32 FM 94.9 by 8 a.m., 11 a.m., 1 p.m., 5 p.m. Congo reach 7 p.m. Lẹ́yìn tó túmọ̀ sí pé láago 8 òwúrọ̀, aago 11 àárọ̀, aago 1 ọ̀sán, aago 5 ọ̀sán àti aago 7 àṣálẹ́. If it be red network, if it be green network, it still fit be yellow network. Any which way na way, your own na to stay alert and stay active on 32 FM. Ló bá tán, mọ́ gọ́ọ̀kì ẹ̀ láfàwọ́dá.
Music lovers, great news! You can now pay for Spotify Premium with your Verve card for just 1,300 Naira per month and enjoy ad-free music listening. Go premium today. Pay with Verve card.
32 FM
94.9.
All right, you're welcome back. You're still on to Break It Down Papers Review here on your Laughter Die 32 FM 94.9. And of course, we've been looking at the headlines of the papers this morning. Well, it's right about time to open the phone lines and also take your comments. We are live on Facebook, 32 FM 949 here on Facebook. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
My name is Adi from Zira.
All right, let's go ahead.
On the issue of Ubara versus the 27, I love it. GBOLABO, I want to ask you this question. lawmakers that are elected to carry out constituency projects across their areas. Are they not supposed to focus on that? I see that on removing Fubara is the target. I don't understand. Because I have a friend who is in the assembly that I have the same borehole that is erecting up and down in Akoko area. These people, they remain in Abuja with UK. They are coming to give governor 48 hours. My sister, which miracle do you want to perform? Fubara has added over, I said local governments that were removed to hand over to sole administrator, announce election, give them enough time till August. Another election will be held. On budget, what stopped these guys from giving the governor 7 days to get a fresh budget? They are bent on local government. They are bent on small guys that are being rude to a constituted authority. Can they do that one to the president when he was governor? Can they do that one to Wiki when he was governor that ruled the state for 6 months? We should be sincere. These guys, they are bent on removing the governor for somebody to have free hands ahead of 2027 operating in Abuja, operating in Rivers, so as to manipulate the election for somebody. Over the best of today.
All right, thank you so much, Ade, from UI there. The numbers are 070-550-949 or 080-970-949. Don't remember, we're live on Facebook, 32FM 949. Good morning.
Good morning, Austin. Tony Brown is my name. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear, Tonya. Please go ahead.
Okay, well done. Happy weekend to you both. The last caller has even spoken my mind, but let me just add something here. Well, because, I mean, when Austin said it has taken 5 days, the governor has not executed anything in Rivers State. And I just got wondering. Immediately that pronouncement from Supreme Court, the governor has dissolved the local government and asked them to hand over to the local government administration, head of administration. And they are doing that. That is already running. And he has asked that he's waiting for the CTC, copies for which will be released yesterday. I guess it must have been released by yesterday for him to for his lawyers to look detail and then know what and how to be about those Supreme Court judgments. And I said he's going to execute the Supreme Court judgment. So I don't know what my friend and my brother Austin is always looking at this issue as if why is not doing anything. Why is doing something? I mean, the people came and gave 48 hours, just like the last caller said. Will you give the current president, who was governor of Lagos State, 48 hours? I don't know. Their plan is to, with Wike and them, they are to ground, Port Harcourt for their selfish end. And let me say it here. It is not. We are looking at it. The army will once anybody who. Why the army not in this country? When Yaradua, Chief Obasanjo tried to calm down the Niger Delta until Yaradua came and then gave this amnesty that brought some peace to it. It's not easy. I mean, the people voted. Look at what happened in Imo State. The people voted and then somebody brought somebody number 4 to number 1, and that has caused the quiet state, the quiet place that everybody envy, became a theater of war, everyday killing because of Supreme Court activity. I think we should be very circumspect. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Tanya Brown, for that. The numbers again are 070-550-949 or 080-970-949. Do remember we are also live on Facebook, 32FM 949, or on Facebook here, and of course we are on YouTube as well with the same dial. And for international audience, plus 234 90 949. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
We are getting feedback. Can you tune down the audio level of your device so that we can hear you clear and proper? Hello, good morning.
How are you? Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Please go ahead.
Let me say that I've always said it that I will always put emotion on something, on issues. Like the issue of Fubara, it will be settled, but people should allow the people to settle themselves. It should be outside, when anything comes, it can go to social media. From there, they confuse everything. It should be settled. That the more land, Dario was more than this. 𝐒𝐈𝐒 was more than that. 𝐒𝐈𝐒 was even impeached with the devil. So it will be settled. It will not be in a battle and be more busy than river people. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Joseph. And on Facebook, we have this one from Honorable Akinkunmi Camille. The caller says, she, Natasha Putti, is a serial accuser of sexual harassment. She accused Reno Omokri of sexual harassment. She lost it in court and later apologized to Omokri. She has done that to many people just to attract and whip up sentiment. And we have this one from Onileowo Omo Bamoro Moro says, good morning, presenter and analyst. God bless our analyst, Austin. Good morning, Benga Mario. Please, just a second. Always say it as it is. All right, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. On the issue of Natasha and Akpabio, I think, as for me, I'm not having interest in that thing anymore. What we want them is to carry out the duties if you have been given. Enough of all this issue of sexual harassment, because in the first instance, you are not even getting justice. Akpabio was happened to be a judge in his own case, and Natasha has been suspended, and the executive house, and they are not even come to meddle in their case, and the justice has not been served. So I think we just forget about the way we do. Let them continue the work that is being given to them. And lastly, on the issue of the distribution, I want to ask also one question. The naval officers, they went to beat some staff, now they said they want to have a lasting peace. Now, the question is, what is going to be the loss of those that are being beaten and those that are being maltreated in that manner? What is going to be their loss? Even at the end of the day, because there must be a severe punishment for the act of this naval officers. What is going to be the loss of those that are being beaten? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Benga Mari. I guess that's the much calls that we can take today on socials. I'll go back to Nilowo Obamoromoro says, good morning, presenter and analyst. God bless analyst Austin. You always say it as it is, truth and nothing but truth, despite the fact that a 2FM radio and their listeners are right. That appears to be opinionated. We have this one from Okidron Babatunde says, Natasha et al. Aware of the rules and regulations guarding the Senate. You can't be the judge in your own case. Boluwatife Ademijuwon says, good morning. Electricity is undoubtedly the backbone of a nation's development, but the persistent poor supply in Nigeria suggests that we are not yet prepared for meaningful growth. Omade Adekunle says, it is not gainsaying that WIKE is frustrating the administration of Fubara indirectly. We must say a big thank you to all those who dropped their comments on our socials, and also those who called in and those who are still calling in. We say a big thank you to Austin Idumo. Always a pleasure to have you join us to do the analysis proper. Thank you so much. My name is GBOLABO, famous call, and of course Baba Fendo is up next. Please do stay with us.